wherever you are. I'm John Wright, and welcome to the last lesson on the history of the U.S. healthcare system, part 6. Right? On the last episode, I spoke about Republicans and Democrats working together to steal our money that our government put aside to create infrastructure to provide health care for us. The conservatives and the liberals creating policies that rob us of our health. We now have Obamacare, and 250,000 people die every year due to cost-benefit analysis. When Obamacare was first introduced, it was called Romneycare. I happen to live in Boston when Mitt Romney was the governor of Massachusetts. And when Mitt Romney's law, he forced everyone who lived in the state to buy insurance or face a fine. Right? Now, Obama got elected in 2008, and I figure that people running our government felt that it would be best to have a liberal push the fascist death care policy. Americans wouldn't trust a conservative to provide health care. So, we now have the Obamacare system, and now more than 250,000 Americans are sacrificed to the gods of Wall Street annually to pay for the ritual and to maintain the balance of power to the evil one, right? The Obamacare, or death care, is what I like to call it. Obamacare has 3 major features, which we will discuss here. First, it is designed to systematically decrease the health care available to Americans, a part of the ongoing liquidation of the U.S. economy, right? The U.S. economy, our standard of living, and our people themselves. Second, it serves as an aspect of the ongoing bailout of the global financial system, pumping increased revenue into that system via the health insurance sector. Right? Third, it advances the corporate takeover and the destruction of our medicine, which replacing a doctor-patient model with a corporate consumer model. Right? Britain's N.I.C.E. healthcare policy with death panels is the exact model for the Independent Patient Advisory Board in the 2010 Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. Whoa. Obamacare. Mr. Stevens, a prominent HMO official at the White House from 2009 to 2010, formulated the law. In May 2009, Stevens personally supplied the Obamacare administration with his report on how to cut $540 billion from Medicare and other federal spending in over 10 years. His report set up 15 steps to do this, with the largest grouping titled Reducing Avoidable and Inappropriate Care. Not good. The model of Stevens and his legal team of corporate cost cutters is that of Hitler's infamous cost cutting in his 1939 T4 euthanasia policy. In October of that year, Hitler organized categories of non-functionals: the very old, the chronically ill, the impaired, and others to be considered a burden of state resources. These people were to be identified by medics and systematically eliminated, right? The agency in charge was located near the number 4 Tiergartenstrasse in what is called today the T4 in Berlin. When United Health, as it has in the recent period, begins terminating contracts with doctors in Medicare Advantage programs and other kinds of cuts and restrictions, the Obamacare program is reflecting the Hitler-famous T4 program. But instead of calling themselves useless eaters or calling the people non-functionals, the Independent Patient Advisory Board in the Patient Protection Affordable Care Act denies elderly people health care with litigation that claims giving elderly people health care is inappropriate by wasting resources, which can be avoided by letting them die by reducing their health care to 0 because the HMO finds giving elderly people health care is an inappropriate use of money. It's crystal clear. Now we know that health insurance is not about health care. It's about making money, right? Patients become health care consumers and find themselves paying more for getting less, buying cheap and selling dear. Adam Smith. This is painfully apparent in the less expensive policies available under the Obamacare system, which are still expensive with huge deductibles. A high deductible, as any competent systems analyst will tell you, is a way of rationing care. When people, no matter what gender they are, can't afford to pay out of their own pockets, many people will not go to the doctor unless it's necessary, right? But they will still have to pay those hefty insurance premiums, right? It may be called self-rationing, but it is still a systematic denial of health care under the fraudulent language of universal health care. Interesting. The illusion has been created by the media that the health insurers are upset with Obamacare. They're getting a bailout. But like many things we are told by the media, this is not true. Media lies. There is, in fact, a significant lobbying effort behind Obamacare. Yes. One of the entities funding this care is the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, which gave $1.1 million to Families USA, which itself is interlocked with Enroll America, which organizes support for the ACA program. So it is fair to say that the U.S. healthcare system is being remade in the image of the killer healthcare reform in Britain and taken from Hitler's T4 healthcare model. Obamacare is a policy of restricting healthcare while containing the costs and bolstering the revenues of the healthcare sector, right? Patients become consumers and are then consumed by the corporatist system. We don't have to put up with this type of murder and theft from our so-called friends in Washington, D.C. and the lower district of Manhattan. There are plenty of resources on the planet that we can take care of everyone, which I have proven in the first few chapters of this lesson. We do not need insurance companies and HMOs to be the middlemen in our healthcare system, telling doctors how to do their job, right? Take your country back with a non-profit healthcare system that is run by doctors and not financially incentivized psychopaths that will do anything for a buck. Tell the private sector to get a productive job and stop murdering people. Get out of our healthcare system and be a productive member of society for a change. 250,000 people are murdered by their doctors every year in the USA in the name of saving money. What if Russia killed that many Americans annually? Or Mexico killed 200,000 Americans a year? But the murderers are people you look up to and admire because they are rich and smart looking. If you let them steal from you, fair play to them. But don't say, I didn't tell you so. That's the news today. Have a great day wherever you are. Drive fast, take chances. I'm John Wright.